Turkey's a country that I thought I've already done a tips and tricks video about because I know a decent bit about Turkey in GeoGuessr. And I guess I haven't. And that might be a decent reason why I see a lot of people not do too good on Turkey. But today I will go over some good tips about Turkey. And I will be doing a lot of the basics. I'll be doing a lot of the like architecture style tips. I'll be doing a little bit of crops, but not entirely, and I'll be doing a lot of landscape. So let's just get into the tips for Turkey. Okay, so for the basics, Turkey is obviously the connected between Europe and Asia on this part of the world. And for the most basic things, Turkey drives on the right, just like every continental European nation. They drive on the right, and it's a very unique place geographically because it has so many different areas. It has pure desert. It has just normal arid flatlands. It has grasslands. It has the Mediterranean vibe. It has forests in the north. It has very flat rolling hills. In this, we have, it's arid, but it's not desert. And it's just a lot of hills around. And you do see this quite a lot in Turkey. But for some other things, this is the Turkish chevron, is red on white. A few other countries use it, but when you see this, think Turkey. Turkey is the main user of this. And then these outer yellow and center yellow lines, this is not super common, but it's not super uncommon. You will only see this style of yellow in both the middle and the outsides somewhat frequently in Turkey and rare Chile rounds, but usually Turkey. Some other countries do have this sometimes, but usually in Turkey you have like a single white line in the middle. Next is the fact that this car, this truck, this blackish grayish truck is Gen 4 Turkey. And you can see this truck in Turkey and maybe like Senegal or Kenya. But it's pretty easy to tell the difference. Like if you see this exact truck, think Turkey immediately. Because 9 times out of 10 it will be Turkey. And yeah, these snow poles, the black, orange, and the white, like this, is also exclusive to Turkey. And then these little power grid poles as well. This style is unique to Turkey as well. So yeah, this is kind of a basics round. But I do think that this round is going to be up here because it is kind of like rolling hills, but it's also, there's a lot of grass, but it's an arid vibe. So that's why I'm going here. Okay. We have the truck again, but this time it's considerably more black. We have the same power grid with the orange and such. Now, this specific location is more of a specific spot because we see a massive body of water. And Turkey has quite a few bodies of water. This northern coast, you have this area, and you have the entire western and southern coast. But if you see in the distance, which you can't actually see in this round, but it's facing to the south. So you know it's not going to be up here. By landscape, not up here. It's not up here, so it would probably be the south. But the south is not like this. It would be very mountainous like this and not as arid. This is the Lake Van, the biggest lake in Turkey. It's a very unique location because you could have very arid rounds, like around the north. You could have very mountainous rounds around like the south. And you could have some very strangely foresty and vegetated areas. It's sort of like Lake Titicaca in a way, just how diverse the landscape is around it. But this massive lake, you can also see it's not a beach. So it's not very ocean-like. It doesn't really feel like an ocean, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, now for some infrastructure. So, actually, before we go into infrastructure, I'll talk about the antennas. So in Turkey, you will see 3 types of car antennas, at least in Gen 3. In Gen 3, you will either see the single small antenna, the double small antenna, or no antenna. No antenna, I think, might be the most common, and no antenna is also Gen 4, but you don't really see the Google car in Gen 3 Turkey, like, ever. You see the small one or the double small one. And if you see two small antennas, I usually think of Turkey and Bulgaria, maybe some other countries, but those maybe Romania as well, but not for the house roofs. So buildings in Turkey, three main things are important: the water tanks, the roofs, and if you see like a mosque, because Turkey is a very Muslim country. But water tanks are very useful in Turkey. Like the way they're oriented can tell you a region. Now also, here's this pole. It's like a mix of the Romanian and the French one. But if you see these tile roofs, like this, like the normal Mediterranean style, you're gonna be in the west, and you're gonna be in the western 2/3. So pretty much, take this little like exclave, I don't know if that's what it's called, the part that sticks out, Hatay I think it's called, and go west, and you'll see predominantly tiled roofs like this. Now, if you see like a few or like one, don't use this tip. If you see an abundance or majority of these house roofs, then you go in the western bit, and then from there you can maybe deduce some more, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, here's some more very good details. One, the road. So here we have the all-white road lines. Like I said earlier, this is what you see a lot more. The road's very grainy, like this. A lot of people consider this to be like a Texan road in a way, and they're very similar. But if you see this type of road, Turkey has quite an abundance of them. It's not always, and it's usually in older coverages, but you do see this less quality, well, not less quality, the grainy road. The bollard. This bollard, I think you see in like 4 countries, and Turkey and Australia are the main ones, but the Australian one will not be flat like the Turkish one. Romania can also use this bollard, but Romania very rarely uses bollards. It's not common. And I think the Netherlands has a similar one, but if you're confusing the Netherlands for Turkey, that's not on me. So yeah, this is the Turkish bollard, pretty much completely unique. You have these European style signs, the white surrounded by the red. I'll get to the language later, because the language is the biggest part in identifying Turkey, and it's a little hard to explain. But if we try to find any other clues, it's not a desert. It does kind of give that Mediterranean vibe. We do see a lot of trees like this. We have some like olives and whatnot. Probably somewhere somewhat west, or like around here. Cause no, this area is a lot like it. Okay, the language, the best part of identifying Turkey. So it is actually pretty difficult doing this. It's hard to explain. Actually, before I get into the language, something I couldn't get something too good of is area codes. Maybe I can find area code here. I probably could, but the area codes on the like phone numbers and such, they could start with like a 2, a 3, 4, or 5. 5 doesn't matter. If it starts with a 2, you will be in the far west. If it starts with a 3, you'll be in the center, and if it starts with a 4, you'll be in the far east. That's just good to know. Ooh, here we have a 2. Actually, that should be a 2, I would assume. So we're probably gonna be in the west, like around here or so, but it could be wrong if I don't remember it completely. And 5 doesn't matter, but the language. So, the Turkish language is very unique compared to everywhere around it. Every European language looks different. Every like Middle Eastern language looks different to it. Maybe the other Turkish languages probably look somewhat similar. I mean, they do look somewhat similar. But Turkish, you'll see a lot of vowels have things on top of it, like this U with the 2 dots. You see that so much in Turkey. You see, can I find an example? There should be like an I that's like weirdly short. This one. This little short I, I think it's exclusive to Turkish. But yeah, in Turkey you'll see like specifically U, I, and O with like dots above it, and then you'll see consonants like C, G, and S like here, here. Can't see a G, but like C, G, and S that have something below it, like this little squiggle. For some reason, I feel like Turkish it just comes to people. People just know Turkish well. Well, not well, but they can identify it very easily. Which, I mean, I get it because obviously, but it's just something that you'll pick up over time. But yeah, that's sort of how you can guess the Turkish language in a way. And yeah, see, it was a 2 and it was up here. Okay, and here is very green. Very green. We see very foresty, very it's gonna be in the north. This super northern section on the Black Sea, this is what it looks like. But then you can also, of course, differentiate it from the rest, because like over here, it's pure mountains. You'll maybe see some like tropical trees over here. And then if we want to go even further, we could say this tiled roof makes us want to go more in the west. But of course, it might be wrong. But this, when you see it this foresty, just go in the north. Pretty much guaranteed. Sometimes it could be over here, since this also has a northern coast. But like pretty much every time, go here in this northern green part. Okay, here with roofs again. So as we can see, these roofs are very flat. Flat roof, flat roof, flat roof, flat roof. We also have a horizontal water tank, which I'll get you something similar later. Every roof here is flat. So if tile roofs are west of Hatay, which is this, the flat roofs just are the southern area. When you see flat roofs, pretty much the entire south, from the bottom of Izmir all the way to like Lake Van. But you pretty much, it'll be Mersin to here. It'll be pretty much okay. The east tip of Cyprus, line up with Turkey, and then go east. That's where you'll find it most likely. But you can of course find it everywhere across the south. But yeah, the south, you will see majority flat houses, usually. But also, since this area, like here, is mixed with the tiled roofs, it could be a bit more hard to tell. All right. Now for the other chevron, this one, the smaller one, that's white on black. I think, if I remember correctly, this is exclusive to Turkey, but you can also see it in South Africa. So yeah, if you see this, and if you have like a ground like this, you barely see that, you could be like, okay, this could be like Spain or something, but then this is like, okay, guaranteed Turkey. Oh, I almost forgot about the stop signs. Turkey is the only country in the entire world, or Turkey, or whatever it's actually called now in English. If you see dirt on a sign, you know for 100% that it is Turkey. That your location is in Turkey, guaranteed. There's no exception, because I mean no other place uses the Turkish language predominantly. So yeah. And then if we try to use some other clues, probably be somewhat west, probably around here or so. Yeah. Okay, now for a water tank meta. Won't leave a mosque here. That's interesting. With the horizontal water tank. That might should be no, it's not very good. Horizontal water tanks. Well, at least like one like this. You see, if I'm correct, it is this southern coast. The southern coast. And there's a little section up here where you see the horizontal water tank. Pretty much guaranteed. And also, we have a mix of flat houses and tiled, so we're probably going to be in this more western area. Compared. Oh, and we have these trees. So yeah, something like around Adana. That's what it would probably be. But yeah, horizontal water tanks. Okay, and the last bit of roof meta is I'm scanning for potential area code to use. Okay, there's not. So we had the tile roofs, we had the flat roofs, now we have the metal roofs. We have a lot of metal. It's just pure metal on literally like pretty much every single roof. And if the tile roofs were the middle and west, the flat roofs were the south, that means that the metal roofs are the far east, and that is correct. If you see an abundance of metal roofs, maybe even metal tile roofs, you are going to be in the far east. That's just how it's going to go. Okay. Now, for a tiny bit of vegetation. Well, for one, it's very green, but we have pines here. We have these Turkish pines. When you see pines, you're going to be on the far western coast. That's pretty much how it's going to be. There are little pockets throughout, like the northern section, that I believe. But yeah, these pines are going to be in the west. That's pretty much a guarantee. And then these trees, olives, I don't know if they are actually. They're a different color than the rest of the trees. You can tell. It's more of a pale white tint. These trees you see all over the Mediterranean a lot. You see them in like Spain, Italy, Greece, and Turkey specifically, but that's just another clue for Western Turkey. So yeah, and also Western Turkey will be green, mountainous. You might even see some Greek. Yeah, it'll look like it'll look like Mediterranean mountains. Anyways, that is it for the Turkey tips and tricks video. I thought I already did this video a while ago, but I didn't, so I did it now. Anyways, we are so close to 500 subscribers. When I do hit that, I will make a tips and tricks video for every single country in the world, and compiled into one. It won't be as in depth as these videos. It'll just be about the most important recognizing country, and then most important region guessing tips for every country. But whenever I hit 500 subs, I will begin the process on that. Just so I don't lose 500 subs and then I upload it. Anyways, that'll be it for this video. I'll see y'all next time.